So we're now going to move on to look at how we would set up a one-to-one program filter with a studio option. So let's navigate back to our Academy Manager area. And the studio option can be used for venues where they have a single-use facility, such as an indoor coaching studio or a coaching studio bay on a driving range, where it is limited to a single use by a coach or a student at a time. So therefore, this needs to be set up in the booking system so that the studio is reserved both in the coach's schedule and also the studio itself is reserved as well. So to do that, we need to navigate across to the booking admin section and again choose booking system filters. And we need to again go to the select program category stage and hit the plus icon so that we can add the program category. Once again, this will have been set up by the team at First Degree Golf Solutions and they will indicate to you which of these you need to select. So we're going to go ahead to the bottom here and choose Demo One-to-One Studio Pop-Up. So from here, we now need to choose the order number. So this time we're going to choose order number 2. We want it to appear as second in our program, our booking system. And then we need to add the program description. And it's now at this stage that we now need to select the checkbox one-to-one because it's going to be a one-to-one program category. And it's now at this stage that we need to choose the studio lesson checkbox. So we're going to go ahead and choose studio lesson, and we're also going to choose the checkbox studio pop-up enable. So we'll show you what that looks like in a moment, but effectively it's going to give a pop-up that appears once the program category is selected, giving the customer a choice to book the studio or not. And this is useful functionality when you have programs, lesson credits that are being used within your system, and you want to give the option to customers to use those lesson credits in a studio facility or outside of the studio environment. So we're going to go ahead and choose the checkbox Studio Pop-Up Enable, and we can then define the active coaches. So this time we're going to just select coach number 2 and 3, and then we need to choose the file from our desktop if we want to add an image from our desktop. And click open, or again we could choose from the repository. And then we need to go ahead and hit save. So similar to before, we now need to go ahead and define the active durations that we want to appear within this program category. Once again, we could edit the program category by using the edit icon, or we could also delete the program category if we wanted to. So what we need to do now is select the active program category subfilters. So we're going to go 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and you would follow the same procedure for adding the imagery and changing the description by using the edit icon on the right hand side. So I'm going to go with those two options, and those are now immediately active on our booking system. So let's navigate across to coach to show you what this would look like to coach and student. And we're going to head to the book a lesson option, and we can see that we've got it appearing here. We did add it as number 2, which we'll cover in a moment how we change the order. We must have a clash in the order number at the moment with one-to-one coaching, which must be appearing first as well. So we'll cover that in a later chapter, how we change the order. So let's go ahead and choose Demo One-to-One and Pop-Up. So remember now we've got 2 program categories, Demo One-to-One, Demo One-to-One Studio Pop-Up. So by selecting Demo One-to-One, we can see that we're immediately taken through to the duration stage, as we've defined this program category as one-to-one lessons that don't take place in a studio environment. However, with the Demo One-to-One Studio pop-up, when we click it, we can now see that we're asked to confirm whether this booking is in the Swing Studio or not. So let's go ahead and click yes. So as a coach or a customer, we want to have our one-to-one lesson in the studio environment. We now can choose our duration, and we can then select the coach that we want to take the lesson with, and we can navigate across a week view, or we can also navigate across a single day view, which would show the availability with each of the coaches that are set as active. So let's go ahead and choose 8 AM on June the 27th. And again, we can see the price is set to 0 as this needs to be set up in the coach's schedule. Let's go ahead and click book now. And we're going to go and just select a student. And let's add it to the diary by clicking book now. So let's now go and book an alternative one outside of the studio environment to show you how that looks differently. So again, we're going to choose the Demo 1-to-1 Studio pop-up, but this time we're going to go ahead and click no, so we don't want to have the lesson in the studio environment. And again, we go ahead and click the duration, and let's go single day view, and we'll navigate to the same date, the 27th. So the lesson that we booked previously with coach number 3 is now visible in the diary. So let's go ahead and choose 8:30, and we're going to go ahead and click book now and choose a student. Okay, and let's then navigate across to ProShop view and find the relevant date. So let's look at our 2 bookings now. So we can see that we have coach number 3 selected. We can see here Saturday the 27th, and we can see the 2 bookings. And we can see that the 2 bookings are different in that one at 8 AM has a studio icon over the top of it, meaning the studio, this is a lesson taking place in the studio facility. This then means that the resource, the studio, cannot be booked at the same time with an alternative coach. And then we can see at 8:30 we've got the second lesson that we added outside of the studio environment, and we can see that it doesn't have a studio icon added to it.